Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome, and I hope you like what you find here. These are going to be your general readings for the month of July. I do want to mention again, like I did in my last mid-month reading, that the Uranus 7-year projections are available for you. Tremendous amount of information coming through. That information is down below for you. And these readings in July are general, so if they don't make sense to you, listen to your other signs. I don't want to keep this intro too long. Keep in mind that sometimes certain things will make sense to you right away, and sometimes none of it will make sense to you right away. From what I gather from hearing from you, it almost always makes sense to you at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. So do listen to it again. If it doesn't make sense to you, I do want to stress that I don't know what it is, but in the month of July, there's this incredible feeling of release. So many of you will feel that. You may have been going through it and feeling it already, but there's a tremendous amount of energy. I feel like it's trying to push through us, which will catapult many of us forward into various new ways and various new beginnings. So overall, it feels very exciting. It might be scary for some of you because the newness also represents not knowing what's to come. So there might be a lot of surprises too. But generally speaking, there is this uplifted feeling of excitement, but also I don't know what's going to happen. And not because it's bad, but because it's I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what waits for me at the end of this journey, whatever that is. So do keep in mind that this is general. For private session, of course, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. If you wish to comment how this connects with you, I read every single one of them. Please do. I would love that. And above all, whoever you are and you have any birthdays in July, happy birthday to you. And have a great month of July, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, beautiful Capricorns. This is going to be a reading for the month of July 2018. Let me go through some of the channeled messages that I have for you. And let me first express to you how I feel, because apparently it's really important for me to do it this way. And my guide said it's just the way we're going to go now. So that's how I'm going to proceed. So I don't know what's going on in the month of July, but so far all the signs I've done, there is this tremendous amount of release that I'm feeling. And I feel like I've been waiting for this for such a long time. Like even when I say this, I feel like I just want to burst out of my bubble. So the word release is hugely, hugely important. I also hear the word autonomy. Whatever the word autonomy is, however that's connected to you, your life, your situation, what you're supposed to release or what you want to gain. Autonomy, exclamation mark, huge word for you. Look up what that means for you. I also saw that in a very recent past, and I want to say the month of June, maybe beginning of July, you started something new. There was a crossroad that you were at, and you made some final decision. The decision might have been a difficult one, and for those of you who understand this message, it was quite difficult. It was about finally letting go of something that is no longer valuable to you, but at the same something that was inherently important to you and you identified yourself with. So this would be for a lot of you, this is going to be the way you see yourself, the way you see how you fit in the world, what you represent to the world, whatever that is. There's some deep, deep, deep conditioning here, and I have cards to support that, but it's also about letting things go, physically speaking. Then I heard decisions. So either you had to make a lot of decisions in the last little while, or over the next several months, you will be making considerable amount of big decisions. And when I say decisions, these are not decisions to like which coffee shop do I go to today. This is about what house do I move into, and which city do I want to move into, and what kind of partner do I want to be supported by. These kinds of decisions. These are also decisions about letting things go and no longer choosing to be in someone's company or at a company. I also saw that you were cutting cords emotionally. You were cutting cords, and it was because it was an unnecessary clutter. And I said, and I asked my guy, what is it, what kind of clutter are they cutting off? And he said, whatever doesn't serve you anymore. So whatever does not serve you anymore in terms of emotional connection or emotional entrapment or emotional attachment, you will be, by choice, for most of you, I would say, for most of you, letting things go that are clutter and no longer serve you. A lot of this will be deep conditioning, which is in our past, and it is conditioning that results in certain thoughts, which results in certain feelings, which results in certain actions, behaviors, yada, yada, yada. So many of you are letting go of something quite substantial. I also saw that you were cleaning house. Now, this can for sure be you physically cleaning your house and you are getting rid of clutter. I actually saw for some of you, you were donating things to shelters, whether it's homeless shelter or, battered women or battered men shelter, whatever it is. I saw some of you donating your old stuff, your old clothes, or things you no longer need. For some of you, this is clearing house, as in you're getting rid of people, and this could be in a company as well. Whatever clearing house means to you can be applied to various situations. Many of you will be choosing, and I'm asked to say it is a choice. It is not something that you are forced to do. It's a choice you are making. It may not be a comfortable choice, but it's a choice you are making. And you will be doing that for the remainder of the season. What season? I want to say from now on until winter. That's what I want to say. So, like I said, decisions over the next several months. Is there anything I need to show them? No. So the number around you is the number 8, which is strength given and strength earned. Is that how I want to say it? In other words, I want to say the next several ones, but starting in July, there is a tremendous opportunity for you to regain your strength, which will allow you to feel much more solid within you. And the word abundance comes in. Now, this is not necessarily physical abundance. This is the abundance you have within you, as in what it is that you feel about yourself truly, not what you're trying to project to the world or what you want the world to see you as. It is what you truly believe you are. And then I said, okay. Oh, then they showed me butterfly, and they showed me that the month of July is considered to be a month of transformation. Now, there is no, July 1st it starts and July 30th or 31st it ends. Of course, it doesn't work that way. It's energy. But consider yourself going through a tremendous amount of transformative stuff, which energetically speaking will allow you to see things very differently, particularly about yourself and then about others. So butterfly is your sign for the next several months, starting July, and it also represents freedom. Now, it was interesting because they showed me a flower, and it was a specific flower, and I don't know what the name is in English, but the significant of it was so beautiful that I just went, oh my God, because the flower is the first flower of the spring, and I think it's called crocuses, and it is one of the very first flowers that come up from underneath the snow. And I want to say some of you have been frozen, and you have been frozen emotionally, which may have made you feel frozen in other ways, mentally certainly. But I saw the image of the beautiful flower going through the snow and the coldness and showing itself alive with this beautiful purple color, which incidentally is a spiritual color, high frequency color. So some of you, there's a spiritual connection to it, but you are literally going through rebirth. And the flower poking through the cold snow symbolizes to me that you are coming out of hibernation. The winter is over, the spring has come. In this case, it's July, so it's going to be summer. The sun is about to shine, and there is going to be clarity. So take a moment and just ponder on that vision and see how it feels to you, because it's important. Then I said, okay, show me a couple of things with cards. The first card you have is a shark, and I just think it's brilliant because the shark card represents something inside of you that, if not addressed, if not brought up to the surface, will bite your ass. Pardon me my French, some of you like it. So the message basically is, what is it that you're not saying? What is it that you're not seeing? What is in the depths of you that you are trying to avoid? And there's a consistent feeling of needing to be honest with oneself, and that's the only way I believe that we can truly move on. And then I hear the words relax, just relax, and I feel it's about you and how you feel about you. Whatever you're going through in whatever situation in the month of July, you will know what this means for you, unless it's not meant for you, in which case it won't make sense. Then I said, what do they need less of or more of? There's a couple of things, because you've got the and. So the moment when I saw the and is I hear the words team player. So for some of you, this is to do with being in an organization and allowing yourself to be more of a team player and making sure you're on the same team. So for some of you, this is a message, and this can be not only with work, but it can also be being in the same team with a partner, with a friend, clearly with a coworker, with a business associate, whatever. But it feels it's there. There's a need here for me to say, to highlight, it's important you are on the same team. Huge. So it's also about having same ideas or being on the same pages. The other message of this card to me is letting go of some anger and resentment from the past. If you have been working really, really hard for others, and in the process you forgot about yourself, you may have had developed some sort of anger and resentment towards you and towards others. So it is important for you to reflect upon that, and maybe that is the thing that you need to address. If we have if we have anger and resentment and we hold on to it by not expressing our true desires and our truth, then it has the potential to ruin a lot of things. First and foremost, your health, which is very important and number one thing, and also ruin your relationships that you have in whatever capacity and in whichever part of your life it is. So there's a need here to look at some anger and resentment that might have been passed on to you by somebody and might be something you're carrying for quite some time. Then you have the Six of Swords, and I love this because this is representing you moving on, and it is to do with, a lot of it to do is with your thoughts, but there is a bit of regret. So something has not worked out. There is a sense of sadness, yes, and I just spoke about this to another sign, but again, I don't want to make it sound like you're losing something. This is process of letting go. This is process of transformation, and you seeing things more clearly, and you expressing yourself, and therefore choosing to move on. So there's not a loss here, but it represents certain something in your life that is or will be no longer in the very near future. And if you have been used to something, or if you have been used to being a certain way, if you have been used to thinking a certain way, letting go of that is not an easy process. You have the High Priestess in reverse. So this is very much about the need to be clear within yourself, but come to that clarity within yourself first and foremost. And again, there is the idea being presented of needing to express whatever has not been expressed. Hugely important. Obviously, the idea of intuition is coming to the surface, but I also feel in the month of July, your intuition may not be at its peak. Why? Well, because you're going through a transformation. As we go through transformation, we go through some turbulent waters. I mean, this water is very calm, so emotionally speaking, I feel you're at peace. Whatever you're leaving behind, you're at peace. But it is still a new process, and that sometimes can make us feel slightly apprehensive, slightly confused. But it's really important to be very, very clear, and to do that is to be very honest with yourself, like I mentioned. Also, any decision, and you do have a lot of decisions to be made, will, how do I say this? I don't want to say will need to be made, but it would be most beneficial for you to make using your intuition. I don't want to say using your intuition only, although that is what I want to say. I do want to say it, but I don't, because for some of you, it's not gonna work very well, because, well, if you don't trust your intuition, then it's going to be very hard to use your intuition only, and you're more likely to listen to your fear and think that's your intuition. But there's a need to develop your intuition here, which ultimately comes from feeling stronger. And then you have the Page of Pentacles. So there's a brand new opportunity being presented. There is either somebody comes to you with a new message, somebody presents something to you. There is clarity with regards to future now. And I almost want to say you can start planning your future now. And then I'm asking at the same time, well, why is it now? Why not before? And the message is they didn't think they could. So whatever has been stopping you, it seems to be, well, moving on, okay? And remember, this is moving on from conditioned thinking, beliefs. This is moving on from a situation, a person, absolutely. And then you have the there and now in protection. So there and now is very much about being in the moment, right? When it's not in this position, it is having challenges about being in the moment. Now, in all honesty, when we go through difficult situations, and I'm not saying that you guys are going to have anything bad happening, not at all, but we are all letting stuff go. And we're letting stuff go because we are cluttered and we do not need the clutter anymore, and we have to let it go. And sometimes the clutter represents an illusion of safety and security, and you will begin to see this very clearly for yourself right now, very, very clearly. So the message here is be mindful where your energy goes. Don't get stuck in the past, clearly. Don't get stuck too much in the future, because at the end of the day, you only have the moment called now. When we're going through difficult situations, being in the now is that much more difficult because we're going through a change, and the ego aspect of us that is responsible for our safety and security wants to know what's happening, and you may not know what's happening. Well, you are just starting to plan your future, so it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. The best you can do is draw conclusions from your past, have an idea of what you would like to achieve in the future, but always come back to the present. And I want to say this, whatever vision you have for the future, focusing on the process of how to get there is going to ensure that you get there in the first place. In other words, if you're focusing on wanting whatever that is, and you're not focusing on the steps required for you to get there, you're wasting your time and wasting your energy. And it's a futile process. And I'm saying it in a very way because I don't want you to waste your time with wishful thinking. And that's different than having a desire. Wishful thinking is having a thought and just sitting and waiting things to happen. It doesn't work that way. And I think we all know that, so I'm not going to go into it. Then I'm looking at the card called Milk and Honey. And this is all about approaching a time of your life where you will feel fundamentally to the core of you that it has come to a point where you know with everything that you are that you will be provided for and supported for. So this is about feeling of inner abundance, feeling of inner wealth. When we feel internally, I want to use the word blessed, even though I don't often use that word, but when we internally feel blessed, and even though we're going through some difficult moments, when we feel, even having an understanding that we didn't have a moment ago, to me it's a blessing because it allows you to see things a different way and shift your perception, which changes your entire future. So I want to say dream big, but don't get hooked up on dreaming only. Focus on what's in front of you, and the process will get you there. And then I'm looking at Nine of Wands in reverse, and there's an idea being shown that if you have given up on something in the past, I feel you are going to let that go. In other words, there's a brand new beginning. Clearly, there's a brand new beginning for you. And this could be a job. This could be just a potential for the future. This could be a new opportunity with the opportunity. That's what I want to say. So many things could signify as a new beginning, but more than anything, it has to do with your future focus. And I hear the word much more balanced. And I think that's all I have. I do want to give you the image again of the flower coming from underneath the snow and purple flower, and just feel what that vision feels like too, because it's supposed to represent you and where you're coming from. And in many ways, I want to say it's like a brand new beginning, a birth, coming out of hiding, coming out of hibernation, coming out of being frozen, whatever that means to you. And I think that's all I have. So I hope this made sense. If it doesn't make sense to you at the beginning of the month, listen to it at the end of the month. And I always say this will always make sense to you at some point, might be in August. And these messages are meant to fundamentally make you think about the deeper aspects of you, without necessarily saying this is what's going to happen. Because, well, if you don't know why it's happening, you can't really be in the process of ensuring a different outcome, right? If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much again for liking, for sharing, and for subscribing. I wish you a wonderful time. I wish you a wonderful July, and best of luck. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.